So before we go further, I want to give you a quick win. Now, I'll be very honest with you. This first win or this first quick win is something that I have borrowed from our Agentic AI Launchpad program. So in that program, we actually go deeper into building this agent workflows. But importantly, I have included here because I want you to experience the difference between just learning theory and actually implementing. Now, getting your tool set right and running is very important for your learning journey. Okay, so when you have the tools that is working, that will help you to build confidence and that will help you to see the progress. And more importantly, that is something that will help you get a confidence that you can actually do it. Now, I want you to get that confidence no matter where you are in this learning journey when you're with me today. So, as part of this tool setup and first win, we're gonna install the necessary libraries and you will run your very first agent, which will help you to boost your confidence right from the start. So enjoy the video and I'll see you at the end of this video. Alright team, so this is a very important video in your Launchpad journey. Now in this video, I'll take you through the tool setup and the first win that you would see in your learning journey. First of all, let's have a quick look at as why tools matter. See, when we talk about tools, especially in your agentic AI learning journey, if you have the right set of tools, that would result in smooth learning. So the idea is very simple. So here in the single video, I want you to set up once, which will help you to save hours as and when you're learning in your agentic AI journey. And more importantly, your confidence to learn is gonna grow only when your tools work because whatever that you would be developing, you will be developing with the help of these right set of tools. So if you set up once and if it's working, trust me, that's gonna increase your confidence. Now, when we talk about this setup that is required for your agentic AI learning journey, so there are three important elements that are part of this core setup. The first thing is actually the VS Code installation. So to install the VS Code, it's very straightforward. You just go to the Google and search for VS Code download. I'll say download VS Code. And from here, just go to the website that is code.visualstudio.com/download. Download the installer depending on your operating system and go ahead and perform the normal installation. That, that's it. It's a simple, straightforward process of downloading this VS Code and performing the installation. We'll be also linking this exact URL in your video description. You can have a check on the same, but it's very straightforward, guys. If we do a Google search, you will be actually getting it. And the another element that's part of the tool installation is you have to download the Anaconda. Okay, go to the website that is anaconda.com/download. Over here, if you're new, just go ahead and click on this get started. You will be asked to create a free account over there. So in my case, I'm already a registered user, so it gets signed in for me automatically. And on this page, okay, go ahead and download it depending on your operating system. So there are two options that you would get. One is distribution installer and the other one is Miniconda installer for this agentic AI journey. I highly recommend you to download this distribution installer. This makes the setup much quicker. This makes the setup, I'll say, an error-free in most of the scenarios. So go ahead and download the installer, that is distribution installer, and perform the installation in your system. And a quick word that I want to tell you right here, when you're installing in your Windows computer, this might take more than 30 minutes. It's completely fine because there's a lot of background setup the system will do. Because of that, it will take around 20 to 30 minutes. It's completely fine if it's stuck in some screen. Just let it install, let it take its time. And once the installation is ready, you can go ahead and proceed with the next step. Now, you can pause the video and start playing once you have done the installation. Now I'll just continue with the learning journey and I'll just continue about this tool setup. So once these two things, that is Anaconda distribution installer, is installed and the VS Code has been downloaded, so the third step that you need to do here is you have to download the source code that is provided along with this video. Now this source code will have the files that would look like this. So if you go ahead and perform the download of this source code, okay, these are the four files that you would be seeing once you download and extract it. So there's a folder called env setup, and under this you will see something called as .env file, and there is readme.md file, requirements.txt file, setup text.py. So these are the files that you would get when you download the source code. So setting up is pretty straightforward and very simple. Okay, I'll take you through step by step. Just ensure that you have extracted this file. Okay, so the quick way that I would help you over here is I'll take you through very basic. Okay, assume that you have downloaded this file. Okay, so if you have downloaded the file, this is how the file would look like. So this is a agenticai launchpad.zip. This is the file that gets downloaded when you click on this download attachment. If you extract the zip file, it will be extracted to a new folder. So this is a folder that you have to open in your Visual Studio Code. Now let me show you the steps. So what you can do is just launch your Visual Studio Code. If you launch a Visual Studio Code, this is a welcome screen that you would get in your Visual Studio Code. That is your VS Code. Okay. Now over here in the screen, click on this open button, which is the open folder button. Let's assume that you are getting some welcome message. Just ignore those welcome message and you just have to click on this open folder button. And it will ask you which folder that you want to open. I'll point it to the directory where I have downloaded and extracted. In my case, it's actually the downloads folder. Inside this downloads folder, this is the folder that is the one that I have just extracted. I'll select this folder and I'll click on this open button. Okay, so if I click on this open button, this will open up my entire folder inside this particular thing. Okay, so these are the four files that you would be seeing: readme file, requirements.txt, and setup test.py. These are the files that you would be seeing. Okay, I'll just modify a few things so that you'll have a quick reference. Okay, so once you download and extract it, this is the actual structure that you would see. So there will be an env setup folder, and if you expand this env setup folder by clicking on it, you'll be seeing the overall folder structure, which consists of four files. Okay, the readme.md file has got some instruction. The requirements.txt has got some set of elements which is already pre-written. The setup test.py file, this is a code that you would be executing to test your environment. Okay, now in the env file, you'll also see something like this, which says as Google API key is equal to, and then it mentions some placeholder value right here. So this is what you would see if you download the one that is placed right now in the attachment of this video. Okay, once you open it, this is the folder structure would look like. So to have a quick recap, what we have done so far here is we have downloaded the VS Code. We have downloaded and installed the Anaconda installer. And once that is done, we have opened the folder which is attached to this particular video. Now observe carefully. This step is very important. Now that this is done, now the next step that you need to do over here is you have to replace this placeholder with the value that you would see in your Google AI Studio. So in order for you to get that, just search for Google AI Studio. Okay, go to this aistudio.google.com, log in with your account, and once you're logged in, click on this button that says as Get API Key, and over here, click on this button that says as Create API Key. I'll mention the API key name, so I'm going to mention as Demo1, and I'll select a project ID which is already present. If you do not have any project, just click on this Create Project. I'll say Launchpad Setup. Okay, just go ahead and mention any name that you would prefer. And once you create a project, just assign that project over here and mention the key name. You can mention any name and click on this create key. Once the API key gets generated, this is an important thing, guys. So here, this is the API key that I've just generated. I'll click on this copy API key button. And once I have copied, I'm going to open up my Visual Studio Code. So this is my Visual Studio Code file .env file. Just replace this placeholder with the one that you have just copied. Now, once you have copied, ensure that there are no spaces before and after this double quotations. Okay, just replace that value, placeholder value, with the one that you have copied from the portal. And once you have copied, you have to go ahead and save this .env file. So use the Control S or Command S to save the file, or go to the file and click on this save. Okay, so ensure that you save the values over here. Now, once this is done, trust me, the hard part is done. The only thing right now is you just have to execute this particular Python script. That's all. So in order to execute this Python script, so the next step right now that you have to do over here is you will have to open up the terminal. In case of Mac, just go to the terminal by searching for terminal like this and open up the terminal that you would be seeing. Okay, you just have to launch the terminal in the case of Mac or Linux. But in case of Windows, what you have to do is you have to open up the Anaconda prompt. Now, how does the Anaconda prompt would look like? This is how the Anaconda prompt would look like. What you need to do is go to the Windows, click on this Windows button in your Windows operating system, and then you just have to search for Anaconda, and you will see something called as Anaconda prompt. There are two things that you would be seeing. One is Anaconda shell prompt and Anaconda prompt. So what you need to open here is you need to open up the Anaconda prompt. That is the one that is displayed right here. That is this Anaconda prompt. Okay, this is the one that you need to open, not the Anaconda PowerShell prompt. So you might find the one which is called as Anaconda PowerShell prompt. We don't want this. We want the Anaconda prompt only. So in Windows, you have to open this Anaconda prompt. In Mac or Linux, you have to open up the terminal. In my case, I'm going to launch the terminal. Okay. So what you need to do right now here is in this terminal or in your Anaconda prompt, you have to go to a folder location where this particular folder is present. In my case, I'll say cd space downloads because that's the folder that I have these files present. Cd means change directory. So from here, I'll go to the change directory, that is to my downloads folder. Now by being inside this download folder, I'll go to my specific folder, that is Agentic AI Launchpad folder. And from here, I'll go ahead and go inside this cd1 env setup. I'll go inside this folder. Now, if I'm inside the cd1 env setup folder, let me show you the files again. So this, yeah, this is the set of files that we have right here in this one env setup. Okay, so I have this env readme.md requirements.txt setup test.py. Now, by being here in this folder, just go to this readme.md file and copy commands one by one. I'll just copy first line which says conda create prefix, and I'll right click and I'll select this paste. and I'll press the enter key. So this will take a while for performing the setting up of my environment. Okay, now once the first command is completed, I would quickly go ahead and copy the second line, which is conda activate. I'll copy this and I'm going to paste it on my terminal. That is my second command. Then once this is done, we can validate that the file, this is the folder location which is being pointed to. That means this is where my path exists. Next, I'll go ahead and copy this line and I would perform the installation. So this will go ahead and perform the installation of the necessary libraries. And don't worry about the details about library and how it's working. So you will have a quick walkthrough about this Python programming in your first module. What we are currently doing right now is just system setup. So the technical details, how to write the code, all those things is covered in the module 1. Okay, so don't worry about it. For now, just follow the instruction that I'm giving to you. Now, once this is done, I would go ahead and copy the next command, that is python setup test.py, and I'll paste it right here. So once I press the enter key, the expectation is I should be getting the output from the LLM. So let's see. There are some command that is being displaying. So I should get an output that says as response from Gemini model. Okay, that is the output that I should get to confirm that it is working. Okay, so we have an output right here. So just see on top right here, it says response from Gemini model and it mentions some details about the agentic AI. There was a question that was planted in the Python script which said as what is agentic AI? And here it says an agentic AI system is an AI system designed to operate autonomously, and it mentions the complete details about the same. So it talks about what is agentic AI over here. So that means the setup is working and we now have the response from the Gemini model using the API that we have just set up. So what we have done is we have downloaded the VS Code, we have downloaded the Anaconda distribution, we have created the Google API key on the AI Studio, and once that is done, what we have actually done over here in the back end, the commands that we actually executed was we actually went ahead and started by creation of our Python. And more importantly, we have tested the creation of new environment. The command that I executed was basically creation of new environment in the back end, and we have installed the necessary libraries by running the commands of pip install -r requirements.txt. That was the one that was done. And then we ran the Python script to validate whether we are able to pick up our API key and generate the response. So this is the set of activities that we have done in this video. And with that, we were able to see our first win, which is basically the response from the AI. So what happened in that particular Python script is there was a simple Python script that was already created, and this was making use of the LangChain API, and it was generating the first AI response. And that is what has actually happened when we have generated this response. So this is the output that you're seeing. This is the response from the AI model. So we were able to generate the first AI response. So that means it's time for celebration, because this is the first output that you have generated from your effort by setting up the system by just following the instruction, and you were able to generate the output. So this calls for the celebration, and this is a proof that you can learn the agentic AI. It's not complex as you would think. It's very simple if you just follow this structured way of learning, guys. And some of you might be having an error. You might have got, let's say, an API key error. Now, for some reason, if you're getting an API key error, ensure that you regenerate a new API key in the Google AI Studio, copy it, And while pasting, ensure that you do not have any special characters. In case if you get any package installation error, let us know in the Telegram channel or below this video. We can check on the same. And if the issue still persists, see if you have the necessary permission in your laptop. Sometimes your corporate laptop might not support the installation. You have to check in your personal laptop. And you might get some Conda environment issues. Now, this can happen when you have an incorrect version of Anaconda present, or maybe the old version was not removed. So try uninstalling the existing version and download the latest version from the Anaconda site and try doing the steps together, and that would resolve most of your issues. Okay, now why this tool setup is an important element. So, folks, from now on, you're not just watching or listening, you're actually doing. You now have a working environment that every future lab and project will build upon in your learning journey. So, this is the foundation for your learning journey, and more importantly, you have already achieved it. And your confidence comes from the implementation. So, beyond this setup, when you enter this launchpad in future, whenever you're ready, so this simple setup will actually grow into a full agent workflow, which will have memory, which will have tools, which will have some integration, real world application. And here in this course, you will continue to build on this setup step by step. So the important thing for now over here is you already have an agent which can run, which even though it's a very simple one, which can answer something and call an LLM, it's something that's yours, guys. And to sum up, okay, you have just completed your setup and you have ran your first agent and you've reached your first milestone. Now I can now confidently say that you're now officially hands-on with Agentic AI. So stay consistent, keep practicing, and build on this foundation because from here, the journey only gets more exciting. And don't worry, even if you're new to programming or even if you're new to Python, you'll get the enough resources to master it. Just follow along with me in this journey. I'll see you next time. Alright, guys, so this was just one video on this module one of full NVIDIA certified professional agentic AI certificate preparation course. Now, in case if you'd like to access and continue access all the hands-on labs, videos, projects, including the examination preparation module, you can enroll on our website. The link is in the description below. If you are able to complete this video till the end, I would think that there's something that resonates between us, and I'm excited to help you in your certification preparation journey, and I'll see you on our portal. But more importantly, I wish you all the very best, no matter where you are in your agentic AI preparation journey. So stay with us, subscribe to our channel for more free content.